Hi, I'm Kelly Hushin, and I am here at ProcureCon for Corporate Sourcing in Atlanta with Erica Hill from the Brown Shoe Company. And you were here yesterday, and you facilitated a roundtable on HR. And I just wanted to know if, first of all, you could start by talking a little bit about what you do and your role in your company, and then maybe talk a little bit about, your roundtable yesterday. Maybe you can highlight some of the things that were discussed there.
Sure. So at Brown Shoe, I'm the Vice President of Non-Trade Procurement and Support Services. And simply what that means is I have the responsibility for procuring all the things that don't go directly into the shoe. So things such as HR, marketing, construction services, etc. And the support services piece is that I also have responsibility for the mailroom, the print center, and our reception area for our particular building.
Okay, great.
Okay? So I've been there about 4 months.
Wow,
and
okay.
so far,
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And basically what I did yesterday was to facilitate a roundtable on HR. And as you can imagine, HR is a very broad topic. And so what we did was we narrowed that down to what was of particular interest to the folks in the group.
Right.
And what that was really sourcing HR benefits, which is a non-traditional area, and one that a lot of my peers are trying to break into. So we really talked about some strategies on how you do that, some challenges in doing so, and what the benefits can be if done correctly.
So what did you identify, if you don't mind getting into it a little bit, as some of the strategies for doing this, and then maybe some of the benefits for doing it?
Oh, absolutely. Well, let me start with the benefits.
Yes.
As a procurement person, and quite frankly, as anyone that has healthcare benefits or pays attention to the news, healthcare is a tremendous cost.
Yes. Not
just for our government, but also for companies that offer healthcare benefits. And so when, as a sourcing professional, you're looking for opportunities, the spend number that's associated with benefits is huge, right? And so we see that as an opportunity. Big spend, big savings, big bonus, if you will. And so the benefit is that it's a very large area that typically hasn't been penetrated by sourcing, and so there's lots of opportunities there to save your company money, right? And what we really want to, you don't want to impact the quality of the care, but we do want to reduce the cost so that our companies, and quite frankly us as individuals, can continue to get premium health care coverage through our employers.
Right.
It's really a niche area, and so one of the keys is ensuring that you have the right resource, the right resources involved. And by that, so what do I mean by that? What I mean is that you want to have a sourcing person who plays in that space. Maybe they grew up in the benefits or HR world, and you've moved them over to the sourcing side, and so now you've taught them how to be a procurement professional, or you have a procurement person that has been sort of involved in the space for a while, and so now they kind of understand the world of benefits beyond just the lingo, and so that they're able to really partner with the HR organization to structure the sourcing opportunities in such a way that you can obtain at maximum value.
Right. Well, that sounds like a great strategy. How do you find these people?
It's hard. To be honest, it's hard. It's a really niche space. And so oftentimes what happens is that you look to HR, you go out on the open market, and unfortunately these resources today you have to pay a premium for them, if you will, because it's such a niche space, but there's so much opportunity in HR. And then when you think about healthcare reform and what that means, all the changes that are coming, this area, I mean, I can't foresee the future, but I would think that there's going to be a lot of demand for sourcing professionals that have a specialty in HR for many years to come.
Interesting.
It's for at least the next 2, right? If not 2 to 4, as we look at the legislation that was passed by the Obama administration.
Right. I imagine that for companies that might be hard to grapple with, because you might put it on a job requirement, but when you get them there, like you said, they're premiums. So how do you kind of convince the higher ups to say, well, this is the budget that we need to allot for this because we'll get that much of an expertise?
Yeah, typically what you do is you put together your business case. not any different than in any other area. You put together that business case which says, here's the opportunity. And through benchmarking, you'll have a sense of and what the savings are on average. And that should more than convince, if you will, your management. And if that's unsuccessful, you can get a consultant. You can bring a consultant in the first year and have that consultant train that junior resource that has all the capability and
Right.
the talent, right? And so you pair someone with the knowledge of HR in that domain with someone that is a sourcing professional. And over time, right, you ensure that that knowledgeable practitioner is transferring that knowledge to the sourcing person, and over time they then become the expert. Right. And so that's attractive to many companies because not only are you growing your internal talent, but you're also getting the value
Of course.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And that value more than value more than offsets the cost of the consultant.
Oh, sure. I'm sure of that. Now, you talked a little bit about resources, and obviously this is one of them. But what are some of the other resources that you said the right resources and the right role besides this HR thing? I mean, what else can we talk about when it comes to procurement and when it comes to just making sure that the people on your team and in your organization have the resources, or that the resources are coming in?
Yeah, and so it's interesting, right? We're all asked to do a lot more with less these days, and I don't think my situation is any different than everyone else's. And I think key to that is ensuring that you have the appropriate resource assigned to the appropriate task. And so what I mean by that is that if you have a junior resource or a senior resource that is not knowledgeable in some of the niche spaces, then you need to think about your strategy. Because we just talked about HR.
Right.
And the same would hold true, I would say, in marketing and many other areas that are niche, that require some domain expertise. And so what you want to think about, or what I would suggest one thinks about, is how do you, so we all want to get optimal value, but how do you structure your team such that you're able to accomplish that? Okay, and so it also goes a step further into looking at your business partner and understanding that person's domain knowledge, their expectations, and quite frankly, their personality. Right, because you have some partners that are more than willing to share all of the domain expertise, and they're really looking to procurement to partner with them and just bring the sourcing discipline.
Yeah.
Right, and so in that instance, you may not want to go out and find a resource that's an expert in that domain space. You just may want to get a good sourcing person. But in other situations, you may have that partner who says, well, if the procurement person doesn't know about what I do, then they're not credible to me, and I really don't want to have a relationship with them.
Right.
And then you sort of get this stiff arm, if you will. Right, and so in that case, the right resource for that relationship is going to be very different. And so that's what I mean with regards to, you want to ensure you have the right resource. Right, and you want to think about those resources, because again, none of us have unlimited resources, and if someone does, please give me their information.
We'd all like to know this person.
I want to understand how they do that, but in essence, most of us don't have that luxury, and so we have to really think about optimizing the resources that we have.
Well, a great lesson to think about and to learn is how to deal with resources and how to make sure you have the right ones, and I think that's a really good topic for us to deliberate on more throughout the conference. Absolutely. Because everyone here wants to understand this and really kind of be better at it.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me, and we'll let you get back to the break because I know that's where we're at right now, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.